Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Gate Ruler video. Today we are going to be talking about the rulers from set 1 and also the demo decks because somehow they are relevant. Somehow. So basically what I wanted to talk about was my impressions after like 6 weeks or so of testing and playing around, a month of proper, of playing, and sort of what my predictions are for, like, how good they are predictions, like experiences, and maybe what I think is going to be popular in English. It just is me telling you about how I've enjoyed each of the rulers. But before we get started, I just want to tell you to, if you are interested in picking up Gate Ruler, you can use my affiliate links in the description, and I'll make a little bit of money, and you'll help support the channel. You don't have to. Don't feel pressured, but I would appreciate it if you did. Anyway, let's get started with World Master Alpha. And so the sort of thing you're getting here with both World Masters is you're getting access to all of the colours. Now, all of the factions. Now, the downside here is compared to Apprentice, you're losing 1 life, you're losing 1 attack, and you are losing 10 levels, and really the 10 levels is the big one. You're sort of forced to play 4 Haunting for this to be kind of viable, but in my experience, World Master Alpha, you can do some very spicy stuff. So I've really enjoyed Beasts with World Master Alpha. You can do some fun stuff with Beasts, but I played against a friend who was using World Master, just good stuff. Just all the good cards from all the factions. So it was like, Galak, Gashadokuro, but like Hellkong and stuff like that. Just good stuff. And that deck was fucking terrifying. It was, I got my shit kicked in more than I would like to admit. And, that was cool. So there's power here. You can use this for some fun kind of rogue, off-meta decks. The thing to keep in mind, of course, is 11 life, 4 Haunting, only a 60 level limit. This is like more memey. I don't think it's top tier. I think it's surprisingly good though. But that being said, it's very fun. But that's kind of it. It's fun, surprisingly good. But of course, being a drive-based ruler, it is a little bit janky, and I'll expand on that more when I talk about Apprentice. I think because I have kind of a lot to say about Apprentice, but I figured that it would be good to sort of talk about that now. Let's move on to World Masturbator, which was 100% not intentionally meant to sound like Masturbator, but it has happened, and that is that. So, I less keen on Masturbator, primarily because, of course, 9 life. This thing is squishy as hell, and you can do some fun stuff with this deck, but I generally think this is, like, by a significant margin, the worst ruler. It's really hard to build something viable from this. Purely, like, losing the 2 life, it's a lot. It really is a lot, because you got to consider, like, turn 1, you're getting smacked in the face for 3, you've already lost a third of your life. And, there's unlikely you're going to be able to do that much about it. So yeah, not ideal. Like, remember, with less life, less opportunities for counter checks, less sort of wiggle room, your opponent's able to high roll you a lot more easily. You go up against like a properly built Apprentice deck or something, if your opponent high rolls into like a Galak plus anything, that is 7 damage plus whatever the anything is. If it's 2 strike, they literally OTK you. So like, if you don't hit your counters, you just lose. So like, that is the thing with this. I'm not a real big fan of this ruler. I have seen some very cool things on Twitter of what Japanese players have been doing with sort of multicolored decks and like building these really cool all faction synergy things. But personally, I don't think it's too good. Let's move on to the real proper rulers, though, that are sort of intended for actual play, and we'll start with Apprentice. Okay, 12 life is a lot. 12 life is a lot. 4 attack is a lot. So let me just get that out of the way. In terms of raw stat value, Apprentice is statted really, really, really efficiently. It's just really scary. Their ruler is always threatening you. No matter what kind of board state you have, you are scared of the ruler. Now, that being said, It is there is a lot of RNG, but not as much RNG as you might expect. You might think it's just going to be, if you haven't really looked into the card pool or whatever, you might just think it's, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to flip the top two cards. And that is true for a majority of Apprentice decks. But any Apprentice deck that is running either Imagine or Wonderverse is going to be significantly more consistent than pretty much any other combination. And to be perfectly honest, I do not really think there is a great deal of merit in running Apprentice outside of that combination for it to be particularly good. There are some, but like, it's really hard to compete with Red Pink, which is the Apprentice build. And to be fair, I say the Apprentice build, there are easily 3 to 4 distinct ways of building that, like noticeably different. So like, I'm not just saying that as like a, no guys, I swear there's diversity. No, genuinely, like, yeah, you're running some of the same good cards. Thousand Year Cherry Tree, that's an absolute 4 of staple no matter what you're building. But like, whether you're going down the kind of more burn route, or you're going down the robot route, or you're going down the sort of value route, or the crime knot route, they are legitimately distinct enough that I think they are, they are different decks. They are very much different decks. Now, that being said, when you build into the good versions of Apprentice, it's really scary, and I strongly, strongly expect to see when the game comes out in English, that will be kind of all you see at locals, because it kind of just builds itself. It's really easy to, and this should be obvious because it was sort of the stuff I was saying back at the start of the game. You can very easily tell, oh, well, I take red and I take pink and I mash them together and I'm going to play 4 of this good card, I'm going to play 4 of this good card, and blah, 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 blah. And it kind of just self-builds, and the only real restriction is on cost. I stand by 4 Haunting as the way to go. I still think that is the hill I'm going to die on, just FYI. But yeah, I think this is a really good beginner ruler because it lets you experience the game. It's not difficult to play. All you really have to do is like play each turn optimally with the 2 cards in your hand, which can sometimes be a little bit more involved because you've got in red pink a lot of filter, right? You've got the robot version of Yobiko and Yobiko to top check. You've got Crystal to check top 2 for sets, so that's gonna give you additional cards. You've got cards like Thousand Year Cherry Tree to let you look at the top 3 and do something from them. You've got Crime Lord's Base, look at top 4 and do something. You've got Emergency Combination to get you into more value robots. You've got you've got so much stuff that there is a lot of potential value there, and you should expect the Apprentice player to be playing more than 2 cards on average in a really properly built, smoothly running Apprentice deck. But that being said, whilst I think it'll top a lot, I do not think it's the best. I think that the RNG there is fundamentally too much, and whilst it is very strong, I don't think it's the strongest, and I think Knight has a lot of ways to deal with it, but you need to kind of really learn the game and get... I say learn the game as if I'm particularly good. I don't think I'm particularly good, but I do think that, like I've hit the threshold of realizing that, yeah, Knight is really good. You just need to, you need to build a certain way, you need to play a certain way, you need to just, you need to accommodate for this thing existing. So yeah, at the start, I'm expecting Apprentice to just dominate tops, red, pink to be everywhere, but as people figure out how to deal with it, they will deal with it. So yeah, generally, basically, my sort of overall impression, surprisingly strong for what it is. You would sort of look at this and naively think this has got to suck. It's like RNG hell, but very well balanced for seeming very strong and being very easy to pick up, but once you get good at the game, becomes less of a concern. Something certainly worth keeping in mind, but you should be able to beat it. And looking at the top Apprentice decks, and certainly badly built Apprentice decks will lose a lot of the time. Okay, so that's Apprentice. Next, let's move on to Highlander. This is my personal favourite ruler, just because I just love the, if you're going to embrace RNG bullshit, this is how you embrace RNG bullshit. Every card you hit is going to be the, oh my god, I can't believe you hit the one-off, which is definitely going to piss your opponent off a lot, because, you'll hit your Galak and they'll go, oh my god, you only play 1, and it's like, yeah, every single card I only play 1. Obviously, you're going to say that no matter what good card I hit. But it's 3 factions is high value, and this ruler is going to get better and better and better as time goes on. Keep an eye out for it. It's not... gutting it of the 3rd legend was probably a good idea, because when I was testing it before, I was like, this is really good with 3 legends. Like, this is like What the hell? But yeah, it is basically at the moment just worse Apprentice, but I think as time goes on it will be better. And you know, it's just very good, very fun. I think that sort of as far as combinations go, you have to be playing red pink as two of them, and then you can kind of choose if you want blue or yellow or grey to be your final one. Personally, I go with yellow. I think there's the most legs there, but all are pretty valid. Also, I just really like the legends available in yellow, like Mag, and you can run like Genesis summon packages and stuff, which is obviously really good. To be fair, you could also just go, fuck it, I'm not going to play red, and I'm going to play blue, yellow, pink, and then you would gain access to like a whole Abyss summon package as well, which could be fun. So, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this deck, a lot of, you know, and you sort of get to run the cards that you might not necessarily make the cut in an Apprentice deck, but because you've got you know, you only got a limit of one, you are able to just include them without sort of building around them. Things like a sudden wormhole and stuff, or sudden black hole, or whatever is like the Raigeki, which is very very cool. So yeah, my personal favorite ruler, but probably the worst like main set ruler, though good. Don't get me wrong, like tier 1.5. Like a well-built Highlander deck is like tier 1.5. You're not going to be consistently clapping big boys, but you take this to locals, you will have a lot of fun, and you will do surprisingly well. This is probably the deck I will take to locals if I'm not looking to just win, right? Finally, for this discussion is going to be Knight, and this is kind of unsurprisingly, this is the card gamer ruler, and this is the one you should get used to playing as you get better at the game. And yeah, it's really good. It doesn't, like, your initial impressions will be this kind of sucks, and that will be because you suck, and I'm not saying that as if I didn't suck. I very much did suck at the start of the game, and I was like, what the fuck, Knight sucks. As you get good, you're going to see there's so much depth to Knight deck building. It is ridiculous. Like, honestly, I'm, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy how much there is to do. And I would say a lot of the skill in Gate Ruler is in deck building right now, like a lot of the skill. In terms of actual play, there is a lot as well. Like, you need the game knowledge to know like the attack order and stuff, to be able to play around what your opponent's counter could potentially be, to know when to try and get the maximum value, when to push. There's a lot of skill in the gameplay, but in the deck building, oh my god, if you build a bad Knight deck, you're going to have a really bad time. If you build a bad deck for any ruler, you're going to have a really bad time against any competently built deck. So in terms of obviously like, you know, competitive play, this is the go-to. This is my favorite. It's like deck building wise, this is the most fun by far. Apprentice is a cool little mathematical challenge. Highlander is a cool how much good shit can I shove into this 55 level limit because you're playing a haunting. But Knight is just, there's so many ways you can take it. You can try and maximize your average. You can try and build for a certain strategy. You can try and maximize what your counters are doing. You can try and maximize, you know, high rolly potential. You can try and, there's so many ways to go. I don't know how to, I don't know how to adequately explain until you sit down and you like invest yourself into doing some Knight gameplay and you go, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. And that's basically my impression of Knight. It's crazy. As people get better at the game, we're just going to see Knight taking over, and it's going to be really good. I'm very glad that that's the way it works. The game is hella fun. Really enjoying it. Love the rulers, but I can't wait for more because, good lord, this is the game with only 3 rulers, and there are 3 more coming. Oh, we're in for, well, 5 rulers, I guess, but we're in for some crazy times. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I make Gate Ruler videos and I make Vanguard videos. Certainly will be making more of them once Overdress really gets going. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.